Thursday, April 27th, the 117th day of 2023. There are 248 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country, getting settled back in for me after a couple days away, and kind of looking at how much rain will we see in the forecast. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. I try to do too many things at one time.
Looks like to me you because you know Colonel Debbie Childress is here. You're working on
I'm trying
art
to get
in
my
the
act together.
art in the park, because we're going to be talking art in the
Yes.
park in a few minutes,
Yes.
and you've got several submissions
I
that
do.
you're shepherding. So we'll talk about that. Your favorite month of the year? Do you have one particular month that you
October.
like more than the other? October is your favorite. A new survey finds December is the month that the most people like the most. The second favorite month is October, followed by June, and then followed by May. I have several different favorite months for different reasons. Yeah, I like the early spring months because of the rebirth and the new colors. I like July because my birthday's in July.
But if you absolutely had to pick one,
Oh, goodness, I don't know. I really do love April. I will tell you, just because a lot of good things happen in April.
A lot of good
it's
things
in the
happen in
spring.
April.
Most of the time, Easter is in April. It sets us up. It leads us into the first Saturday in May. So if I have to pick one, then I'm picking April.
Okay.
Then maybe I'm going to pick a fall month. Yeah, maybe like October. I kind of like October these days. So anyway, just for different reasons, I like different months. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. March is the right answer.
March. I can see why March would be your favorite month. I got it.
I'm not even saying just for my birthday. March Madness, start to baseball. It's great.
I forgot to mention the Masters is in April. Thank you very much.
This little stretch is a great window.
It's good. You know, baseball season starts usually April 1st or so. So I like it. I am feeling a little prideful today, I got to tell you. I think I was a good luck charm for the Reds.
Swept them.
Got swept, then turned around and were the sweepers. And I got it. So on pretty good authority, I was at the ballpark on Tuesday, and I have it on pretty good authority that before the game on Monday, there was a team meeting. And they came out Monday evening and kind of surprised everyone. And
You got some scoop?
got some scoop.
Scoop buckles?
And I trust the source. Trust the sources tremendously. And so
I think I might know who one of your sources is then.
yeah, you probably do. But they came out in impressive fashion on Monday night, and then surprisingly, a rally in the bottom of the ninth to come back from 6 down to win 7-6 on Tuesday night. That was exciting to be there for that. And then they won again yesterday.
Yeah,
So
walk off yesterday as well.
it's a good for the Reds. So I'll
As
I
Matt
played a
Jones
part in
says,
that somehow.
don't let the Reds get hot.
It's goodness. I mean,
I know the Yankees are shaking in their boots here in a couple of weeks because they remember that beatdown that happened last time.
I guess you never know what can happen. They played well against the Rays too. So showers will be moving in this afternoon. We will see rain moving in this afternoon and lasting into probably midday tomorrow. We're going to see increasing clouds, a 70% chance of rain this afternoon. We'll top out at 72, and that'll happen pretty early in the day. Once the rain comes in, temperature will drop down by a few degrees, down to mid to middle range 60s. 56 is the overnight low with some rain, maybe a clap or two of thunder overnight. Don't be too surprised if you hear that. Then morning showers, a few thunderstorms are possible early tomorrow, a 40% chance of rain and a high of 68 for the weekend. You'll see the Derby Mini Marathon is Saturday, only a 20% chance of rain on Saturday, so it's looking pretty good for the Mini. Then the people of Louisville might like the converted Pegasus Parade. They reformatted the Pegasus Parade during the COVID pandemic. And now the parade goes to different neighborhoods. Instead of you coming out and lining up for the parade, now the parade comes to you. And so you go out to your street and it drives by and you wave and et cetera. So they can cover a lot of ground that way. But I don't know. There's something about giving up on the traditional line up and march the parade type of thing.
I marched the Pegasus parade.
You did. I never made it to
Back
a
in-
Pegasus parade.
John Calipari was the Grand Marshal that year.
He was.
That was
Well,
after they won in
so
2012.
I was in an inaugural parade, but I was never in a Pegasus parade. I was in multiple inaugural parades at different levels, gubernatorial and presidential. But
I guess in a lot of ways, after winning the national title, that was almost an inauguration for John Calipari.
yeah, it was.
at that
It
moment.
definitely was an inaugural. Yeah, it was a coronation of sorts.
In your rival's biggest city.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, stomping on the logo in the middle of the floor. By the way, Natural Bridge, in case you're going to make a weekend trip, Natural Bridge is reopening. The park there, the State Resort Park, is opening tomorrow. It's one of Kentucky's most popular attractions. But after they got that fire contained earlier in the week, they are signaling they'll reopen, I think, most of the park by Friday. So, given about to have the all clear and Natural Bridge getting back to normal. Got another presidential candidate as of yesterday. Asa Hutchinson formally launches his 2024 campaign in Arkansas. He's a former governor of Arkansas. I'm sure he's a fine man. I'm sure I would enjoy sitting and talking with him. We don't need more old presidential candidates. We got old taken care of, right? We got old options, right? We don't.
Trump, Biden, they're both old.
And by the way, love you, old people, and I'm quickly closing in on joining you. But I'm just telling you, we got that demographic represented. I need to see some representation from some other demographics and have some other choices. I have not closed the door on Nikki Haley yet, by the way. Like, the more I hear, I think, all right. We'll see. Are you getting in the race, Sam?
Not old enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to be 36, right?
What if you get a note from your mom? You have to be.
So I think it's.
You got to be 35, but if
35,
you're under
yeah.
that, can you get a note from your mom? She
I don't
says,
know.
no,
No,
I
no.
vouch. Okay.
I don't think my mom would want that either.
All right. An explosive garage fire on Sunbeam Road on Wednesday, just outside Litchfield city limits, was fueled by racing fuel. It happened about 3:30 Wednesday. Litchfield and Clarkson Fire, Sheriff's Office, Grayson County EMS responded to 2800 block of Sunbeam Road. At the scene, garage was fully engulfed in flames. Multiple explosions were heard. They moved two nearby vehicles away from the flames, and apparently there was some mechanical work being done to some race cars, and some fuel got ignited, and a pretty substantial fire out there that they battled. So that happened on Wednesday afternoon. Brett County man who served as a Meade County deputy jailer has been found guilty of second-degree assault. 32-year-old Nicholas Peak of McDaniels was on trial in Breckenridge County for second-degree assault and first-degree wanton endangerment after shooting 44-year-old Michael Kunick of Nicholasville. The arrest citation said that Peak approached Kunick, who was outside a residence in the 100 block of Clora Kuiper Road in McDaniels, and shot him in the neck. Kunick then attempted to run from the area, with Peak following and continuing to shoot at the victim. The incident took place during a domestic dispute in the evening of August 30 of 2019. So anyway, that trial happened over in Breckenridge County. I must have misplaced the story, but you all see the story about was there a shooting or a stabbing because some guy was chatting up some guy's girl? You all see that?
Something like that. I admit that I did just the headline.
Yeah.
I didn't actually read it.
At the very least, chatting up his gal. And that's my word. I don't think the story says chatting up. But I just gleaned the inference was two dudes. There was violence between two dudes.
Over a girl.
You know, tale as old as time. A Glasgow, sad story. A Glasgow child riding a scooter has been seriously injured after being hit by a truck. The 12-year-old child was riding a scooter on Virginia Avenue in Glasgow on Wednesday afternoon when an 08 Dodge truck crashed into the child. The victim was initially transported to T.J. Sampson Community Hospital and was airlifted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The Glasgow Police Department said that there was no indication of negligence on the part of Carter, and of the driver, who was a Randall Carter, but one of those accidents. You got to be careful out there playing in and around streets. An infusion of federal funding will help build hundreds of homes in Kentucky communities devastated by tornadoes and floods in 2021. 4 counties hit by the storms, Graves, Warren, Hopkins, and Breathitt, will receive 80% of the more than $123 million in housing assistance allocated by the federal, we'll just call it HUD. I think people know it as HUD. The remainder will be spread among 36 other counties also impacted by the extreme weather. So more federal housing funding opportunities. 80% of that going to the 4 hardest hit communities, but Breathitt was from flooding, and the other ones you saw on that list were from the tornado damage. We're getting closer and closer to Election Day, and I have noticed more and more. It's been going on for a while, but now Kelly Craft has her cannons pointed at Daniel Cameron, and Daniel Cameron has his cannons pointing at Kelly Craft, and Ryan Quarles is over here going, I like everyone, and we should be civil, and we shouldn't attack one another. He's hoping this is the Hal Heiner, James Comer, Matt Bevin quotient, where if Heiner and Comer canceled one another and it left Matt Bevin, Quarles is hoping Cameron and Kraft cancel one another and he's left standing. So it is kind of an interesting shaping up race, and we'll see how it unfolds as we get closer and closer to Election Day. Do you know where you can vote, Sam?
6 places, right?
Yeah. I was just wondering if you'd been educated on
6 places, something like that. Yeah, it's Center on Main, right?
Yeah. Everyone can vote everywhere. Now,
just once.
Just once. Not everyone can vote anytime, but everyone can vote everywhere. I was just making sure you were.
Sounds like you're writing a Dr. Seuss book.
A little bit.
We love Seuss.
Well, but I mean, you remember Sam I Am. I do not like green eggs and ham. So if I can write it in Seussical verse, won't you remember it? Say
yes,
I
am.
Say I. I will, yes. Okay. U of L students, Louisville Orchestra, and infamous cellist Yo-Yo Ma will be performing Saturday at Mammoth Cave. He is a 19-time Grammy. I don't know if he won any Grannies or not. He's a 19-time Grammy Award-winning cellist and will be performing inside the Rafinesque Hall at Mammoth Cave. So,
are you going?
I am going. Yes, I was fortunate enough in the NPS lottery to get tickets for the afternoon performance. And so I think Miss Buckles over there has to sit it out because of a scheduling change. But I think the parents and I and the eldest daughter, I think, may hop in and go with us. And so maybe 3 generations going to Mammoth Cave to take in the what I presume is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and probably be the only time that I'll be in that cave for a concert, and I'm quite certain it'll be the only time I ever see Yo-Yo Ma perform. But a guy that famous, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Now, it's kind of a neat thing. It's all standing. There are no seats in Rafinesque Hall. You are encouraged to move around because the acoustics of the cave are really what they're kind of exploring. It's about a 3/4 of a mile walk down to and back from the visitor center. And so anyway, it's going to be a neat experience. I've not been to Mammoth Cave. Well, I've not been in the cave for a long time. I've been in the park, but I haven't been in the cave. So anyway, should be a neat thing. I'm glad they're doing it. And they were just talking about how so many people from Louisville have a connection to the cave because they, just like us, took field trips in elementary and middle school to, there. And so, you get Yo-Yo Ma to play in one of the, 8 wonders of the world. And is the cave one of the 8 wonders of the world?
Oh,
It should
think
be.
so.
I don't know. It's
in
big.
our heart, it is.
It's big. Former Grayson County High School softball standout Beth Glasscock has been selected to become a member of the Kentucky Prep Softball Hall of Fame. She is an 05 graduate of Grayson County High School, and she turned in there one of the greatest careers in school history. She was first team All-State twice, All-Region 4 times, AAA Player of the Year in 05, and runner-up for Kentucky's Miss Softball. She was runner-up to her very own teammate, Michelle Critchlow. What a great softball team they had that year.
Because she won region Player of the Year, but Michelle Critchlow won State Player of the Year.
Right. Glasscock attended Jacksonville University, so down in Alabama. Yeah. What used to be Jack State?
No, I think Jacksonville University
Jacksonville's in Florida?
Yes.
Okay. On an athletic scholarship, and she was named All-Conference her freshman year. So she's already in the Grayson County High School Hall of Fame. She's going to be in the Kentucky Prep Softball Hall of Fame, and well-deserving.
Yes, I think she's the fourth Grayson County connection in that Hall of Fame. So it's good. Continuing to litter it with Lady Cougars.
So a pretty in-depth story on Penny Reese's 700 wins at K105.com if you want to read more on that.
Yeah, it's a good story.
And, so that happened earlier in the week. I haven't had a chance to offer my congratulations. NFL draft tonight. I got 4 big quarterbacks on the board. Hearing some movement yesterday that maybe the Panthers want Will. You think?
No.
No?
Right. It's a smoke screen. I think they'll take Bryce Young. Will Levis will go fourth to the Colts.
I don't really want him to go to the Colts, but I don't like the Panthers any better either. So.
Yeah, I think he'll go to the Colts, which I'm just happy that none of my rival teams are needing a quarterback. So it's kind of nice that I don't have to worry about that this year.
Your quarterback problem is most likely solved for a while.
Oh, the Bengals.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh,
and now your rivals, on the other hand, they may they may get the next Joe Burrow at some point in time.
No, there's only one.
If you're playing the long game on Derby, bad news this morning. Sunland Derby winner Wild on Ice is out of Derby 149. Hind left leg injury. Not in a cast, was loaded onto a trailer, flown to Keeneland, will undergo surgery. So everything's fine in the long run with Wild on Ice. But Wild on Ice will not be in Derby 149.
Was it actually flown to Keeneland from Louisville?
Probably horse van, probably.
Okay, I was interested if they had like air vac for horses.
Yeah, flying low. They do have air vac for horses, but probably not from that distance.
I just was intrigued by that.
My guess, yeah. So big time here in the Bluegrass. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Speaking of big times, Art in the Park coming up on May 20th. And I think we'll tell you about that and a big weekend. Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance is here, so everyone prepare to salute. That and more coming up here on In the Know.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start June 5th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
The Grayson County Health Department has been a staple of our local community for years, and our dedication to serving hasn't wavered. The health department offers several services. We have a clinic ready to serve the community when needed. We also perform environmental services such as permitting and restaurant inspections. We have a committed team of hands workers too. They love working with new moms and dads and collaborating to achieve strong parenting skills. And we have an education academy that offers free education resources for our local schools and residents. We are here to serve you. For more information about GCHG, visit our website at myhealthdepartment.org.
Are you looking for a stable career with excellent benefits, 401k match, paid time off, and tuition reimbursement? Cormark is here. We are ready to support you and your career goals. When you join us, you'll discover a culture that encourages you to grow and challenges you to achieve. We embrace each employee as family. Our incentive pay structure rewards you based on your own performance. Show us your commitment, and we'll show you how to earn the money you deserve. Call a recruiter today, 270-259-9341, or stop by for an interview. Walk-ins welcome. Cormark is an equal opportunity employer.
Apple is reportedly developing an AI health coach to help people with exercise, sleep, and eating habits. Michael Kastner fills us in.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
No, you won't be turning control over to the sassy 2001 Space Odyssey AI buddy named Hal. Instead, meet Apple's new AI coach, codenamed Quartz. The paid service is expected to rely on data from an Apple Watch to make specially tailored plans and programs. Bloomberg reports the service could be ready for release sometime next year. What could possibly go wrong?
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
And Elizabeth Holmes' 11-year prison sentence is being delayed. The disgraced Theranos CEO appealed a lower court's decision to deny her release earlier this month while she appeals her original fraud conviction. She was supposed to report to a minimum security prison on Thursday. Tech Report, Mark Meek.
Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
Today is Tell a Story Day. It's Babe Ruth Day. It's Morse Code Day. And it's Prime Rib Day. It's also the day we say good morning and welcome back to Colonel Debbie Childress. Count on the Colonel.
Good morning.
Morning. You've heard that commercial, right?
I have. I hadn't quite had it attached to me yet, but that's fine.
Carl Truman Law Office or something, I think it is. Do you know Carl Truman?
No.
He's also a colonel, for what it's matter. I thought you all met at the Officers Club.
No, the only thing I want to stop is everybody saying Debbie Downer.
Oh,
I
wouldn't.
not.
I wouldn't dare to say that. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
All right, it's so good to see you. It's been a few months since we have, but I know you've been busy. What's been happening across the road for the last few months? How are things at the Alliance?
Well, we're staying steady and busy. We just finished our tax program, serving about 254 families with free tax services. So $40,000 in just the tax filing fees saved for those families. And we're still in our renovation. In fact, today they're working on the cabinets in our kitchen and classroom. So that's a
wonderful.
big forward motion, and that's exciting.
So now I had the privilege of touring it not long ago, back in the winter, and I could see how it was all coming together. Have you been able to grow into the space over the months, or are you still kind of segregated old ways, pending an official move in?
No, we went ahead when tax season hit us. We went ahead and moved into the service area in our offices, and we're using what used to be our offices is now the waiting room, and they get to come in that way, come into our big resource room for both food pantry services, and we held our tax program in there, and it functioned fabulous, heat and air and everything.
It's an amazing. It's like you're almost like you got heating and air before Memorial Coliseum. So congratulations.
Look at us.
I also know that, you do what you can with what you have. Do all you can with all you have. And so while the resources you had were a blessing, there were some limitations when you had several people there at the same time. You kind of stacking them in there in ways in a really compressed area and lack of climate control. And so this just really makes a better experience for everyone all the way, including the helpers, the volunteers, the employees, but also the people that you serve.
Absolutely. This will be the first time in 23 years of serving Grayson County that we have our own home, and it's designed for the services we offer and give us room and opportunity to advance those services in the future.
Yeah. I also continue to see you share civic groups and local employers that, they take career days or team building exercise and they come help load, gather, distribute, etc. I know you are very grateful for them.
Absolutely. We have hundreds, and I think in 2022 I was counting up to over 700 different individuals that volunteered in some capacity for the Alliance.
And then you have a network of churches in different communities and people that where you rather than people having to come to you, you actually go to them or have little satellite operations. I know our congregation is one of those, but I know that it would be hard to do what you do without them as well.
Absolutely. Those off-site locations make it possible because of transportation issues for families, save those gas money or that opportunity to get to us. So we have about 150 families that are served in an off-site location. So we're really thankful for that.
So for the 10th time in May, the Grayson County Alliance and will rely upon the success of Art in the Park for one of your key fundraisers. And I don't want to make it sound one-dimensional by calling it a fundraiser, because it really is an event that broadens and deepens the cultural pool in our community. And, oh, by the way, does happen to help benefit the Alliance and its ministry and mission. Over the years, over the more than decade and 10 incarnations, this has really blossomed, hasn't it?
It has, and I've only been working for the Alliance since 2016, but I went to that first Art in the Park, and I remember the excitement of that day and how great it was then and how we've advanced things now. And Art in the Park, yes, it is a fundraiser. Any funds raised are going to go back to the food pantry to help feed our community. But it's so much more, and that's what I love about the vision everyone had all those years ago. Let's elevate and cultivate the arts in Grayson County, because as I've discovered in my network of friends and even some of my clients and just our community, there is so much talent that is hidden because there's no opportunity. So we've been able to spotlight that for folks both locally and regionally.
We don't have a performing arts center that we label it as a performing arts center. We have auditoriums and we have, places where we have concert halls and band rooms and choral rooms. So we may not have one that has a fancy name that says performing arts center, but we've never been a community that has really had a nucleus of arts, and then people can kind of operate around that, and where arts and artistry can come together and realize where they mesh and how they're different and how they, but this, at least for once a year, is a time we say, let's focus on arts. And you don't know what type of seedlings this is going to plant that is going to turn into tall trees. And any tree that's been growing for a decade starts to really establish a deep root system and will really become a great fruit-bearing tree. And I think that's where Art in the Park probably is.
Well, absolutely. And you can think of some of the artists that we just now are continual every year they're here, but they started out as that first-year artist. Paula Haynes. Mm-hmm. We have Jackie Pierce. Like, all of these people started out showcasing their art with us, and their fame and their just artistry has been spotlighted from that point. And they've really grown, and they've helped our show grow. They reach out to younger artists and bring them in and cultivate that, and our student art show, and just so many things that are bringing the arts alive in City Park that day.
This I know we'll have people in the audience that will say it's April the 27th. Why you're talking about art in the park? It's on May 20th. Well, there's a very good reason for that. This is what we call your Calling All Artists visit. You're here today to put up the bat signal to artists saying, art in the park is coming. Let's get organized and let's get your stuff in the works so you can be part of the show.
That's right. We have room for more. We've already have about 20 artists that are already planning to vendor with us, and including a new artist that's 14 years old that creates her own unique jewelry, and she does it through estate sale pieces that she might get. And I've seen some of her pieces, and they're really great. We've got new woodworking. There's so many new folks already, but there's room for more.
You know, it's really neat you mentioned that, because it's an indicator of where technology has enabled artists to blossom where 20 years ago they couldn't, because they didn't have a method of marketing their products. But there's so many artists making a living on Etsy now that 20 years ago couldn't, because they didn't live in communities big enough to find the market to sell their product to earn a living. So there you had starving artists. Well, there are a lot more artists and a lot less starving artists in 2023 than there were in certainly 1983.
Absolutely.
So, by the way, speaking of young people, I have always been an excelled, well, if I excel in any artistic form, it's in the performing arts. But recently, Christy has kind of decided she has an interest in visual arts, and she'd been painting on canvases, and she's kind of taken your tiny art program and decided, well, hey, I'll focus on this, because then I can do some things and I can be helpful, I can be benevolent, I can encourage others. And so she and Alea have just been working on canvases at home a lot in recent months. And at Alea's birthday party on Sunday, one of the organized activities was Christy was leading them all in Alea's peers in making their own canvas, and she explained to them, here's what we're doing, here's why we're doing it, and they were all sort of stunned, like, I can be an artist and I'm gonna have it in the show. So you've got some sample of those over in front of you, but I know this has to make you happy.
Oh, it does. It brings joy to my heart to see that people would take an opportunity. You guys using the birthday party as a platform for the kids to do something fun and meaningful, and that's just such a sweet way to help kids learn about how they matter now in their community.
Well, I also want to take the opportunity to point out that format also encourages us all to look at things sometimes with a childlike opportunity, because after Alea and her peers were painting canvases, you want to take a guess at what happened next?
The parents got
the
in there?
mamas were all in, like all the mamas were over here like, well, I can do this too. And so it was this communal, right? Artistry type of thing that it was just an enjoyable experience. And so you've got an entire community of those people that are gathering on May 20th at the James D. Bevel City Park. One more footnote too before we talk specifics. You heard me say earlier, I can't say it's been going on for more than 10 years, but because of a brief pause, this is just the 10th one. Right? So it's kind of hard to navigate that, say, well, it's been going on more than 10 years, but this is the 10th one. I remember the first one back after COVID, and we were all looking for opportunities to do things outside, and we were in that period of, can we be around people and not be masked? And and I remember this almost euphoric feeling of being out among the community, talking with people that you know and love that you've been isolated from for a while. I think for me, when I think of art in the park, I get that warm feeling because I know what it signaled to me in that year specifically. And my guess is I'm not alone.
Absolutely not. I think we felt it again last year. It just feels so good, and we value that community togetherness more, I think, because of that experience during 2020. And it's just beautiful, and our lovely park. And you all came in on that first year and said, yes, we want to be a part of that. And you all have helped this be so successful, and all of our sponsors and tourism, everybody, it's that coming together to do something good that's going to produce something good.
Well, and that's, I say it every year, and I guess I'd just like to reiterate my commitment. I said in the beginning, anything that broadens and deepens the cultural opportunities and community of our community, I'm all in for. There are too many other things that erode the fabric.
Right.
I'm for the things that, that make the fabric, make it stronger. I also should say there was a time when this event would have been relegated to an asphalt parking lot somewhere where you'd be baking in the sun. The way the park has evolved over the years, from being able to enter on both sides and stroll through and shade, and it's the perfect venue for this, and I think that helps foster participation.
Absolutely. And it has so many great things about it. It's free parking, free admission, free children's activities. The music is all free. And this 10th anniversary, we anticipate having some collaborative art projects that anybody that wants to put a hand to is going to be able to help us complete as a fun activity. We've got vendors that are going to offer demonstrations or hands-on guest experiences. It's just going to be even more fun. We're just celebrating.
I know that you're going to be back, I guess, week of the event, and we'll kind of remind everyone about schedule and dates and times, but I guess I don't want to waste the opportunity here for you to reach out directly to artists and say, there's still room for you, and here's how you get involved.
Okay, absolutely. We have room for fine arts and fine craftsmen. We are a juried show, so you will go through a process. We'll evaluate your art and get back to you, but that's a simple phone call to the Food Pantry, 270-259-4000, or reach out to us through gcaartinthepark@gmail.com. You can check out our website. All of the files are downloadable on our website at gcaartinthepark.org. And we're not just looking for the artists and craftsmen. We are looking for a few more musicians. We have some surprise children's choir are coming this year. We have some student musicians that are coming this year. We have Les Downs will be back with her original songs, and Patrick Lampton. But we have a few slates left for on stage. And then the Tiny Art Show. We need more folks to do what you all did for the birthday party. Sit down, take a simple blank canvas that you can get locally. It's really affordable, and create some wildlife art. And it doesn't have to be painting. You can decoupage or multimedia or put clay or paper art or anything on it. It's your creativity. And those pieces will go on exhibit and be sold to benefit the food pantry. But the day is about celebrating the arts.
Over the years, you've dealt with a lot of artists, of course, and them parting with their art and their goods, and it goes to new homes. Well, I've experienced that recently because there've been enough art created in our home recently that angst of the artist, where you go, I don't know if I want to part with this or not. Like, I don't know. I mean, this is, I think I did so well on this. I might want to keep this, but that's part of it, right? When you
Absolutely.
create art, you want it to go and make someone else happy.
That's right.
And so that's what all this does. Well, it's always wonderful to see you, and we'll see you again in a few weeks and the week of, as we get ready for the 10th Art in the Park. All right?
Thank you.
Colonel Debbie Childress from the Grayson County Alliance. Back with more here on In the Know.
Buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Or as we like to call it, the can't have just one deal. Mix and match a tasty McDouble sandwich, McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, or for a limited time, a hot and spicy McChicken. Buy one, get one for $1. And now get any size Sprite for just $1.29. Only at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Earn Your Leisure's Rashad and Troy, along with DJ Envy, have teamed up with the Derby Diversity Week. We are taking over Derby Week, bringing you the hottest knowledge by day and no chill at night. Take your leadership skills to the next level. Real estate and finance with Matt Garland, the mortgage guy, and Jose Rodriguez, the credit dude, Dave Ross, and so many more. We'll explore culture and media, marketing and advertising, and so much more around business and entrepreneurship and professional development. Grab your summit and fest pass to experience all that Derby Diversity Week has to offer.
Under the disaster of NAFTA, politicians put other countries ahead of Kentucky. They did nothing as jobs left our state. I'm Kelly Craft. As United States Ambassador to our largest trading partner, I worked with President Trump to rip up NAFTA and implemented USMCA, which created thousands of Kentucky jobs. I'm running for governor to stand up for our economy and to fight for Kentucky jobs.
Paid for by Kelly Craft for governor.
Congratulations! You're gonna be a mom, and we're here to help every adorably tiny step of the way. Now, expectant and new mothers up to 1 year are eligible for no-cost health coverage through K-CHIP or Medicaid. Just visit us at connect.ky.gov/K-CHIP to qualify and enroll. Then sit back and relax for a minute, okay? You've got enough going on.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. That's 800-273-7075.
This is Kentucky, where the only thing ordinary is the unexpected.
I got everything you need.
Horse country, legendary distilleries, rivers to paddle, lakes to splash and relax, big city vibes and small town charms. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
I got everything you need.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll keep scattered showers in the forecast through the afternoon with more of that rain expected for later on this evening. Once we head into the overnight, the rain will become scattered once again, and we'll keep that rain chance into a good chunk of your Friday. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrews.
Now I had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before.
Never felt
yes,
this
I swear it's a truth, and I owe it all to you.
Did you know when pitched, the average Major League Baseball rotates 15 times before reaching the batter?
Oh, it's a lot more than that.
The average.
I was gonna say, I think it's a lot more than that. I mean, you get some guys. Well, I guess maybe average, but I mean, you get some.
You gotta factor in the knuckles. Which they don't throw much anymore.
No, I don't think there's anybody.
So the average is 15. But really think about how. Yes, you might not be surprised that it could be more than that, but think about how quickly. Some guys are throwing in the low hundreds. That how quickly it goes from hand to catcher's mitt, and for it to go 15 complete rotations, it's spinning a lot, and so that's where you get the movement on the ball. So, Sam wasn't impressed with that stat. Honey, were you impressed with that stat? Come on, say
sure,
yes. Right,
yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't know.
All I can think about is what Whitney showed us yesterday about the winding up of the arm. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
Yeah, Whitney's daughter is learning how to be a softball pitcher.
Oh, the old.
So what her coach has done is said you need to go outside with a piece of sidewalk chalk and practice your circle motion. And so your chalk then makes the motion, and her daughter found the best place to do it was the garage door.
It's fantastic.
So Whitney's garage door just has random circles on it.
Sorry.
Wonderful. Well, I wonder how many rotations a softball makes on average. Of course, that's from 60 feet instead of 90 feet. No,
Yeah.
that's from 40 feet.
Yeah.
40 feet instead of 60 feet.
It's tough, though, hitting those softballs. They whip it in there.
Yeah, it comes in there pretty quick from a short distance away.
And a different angle.
I read this morning, I told you about the horse that's out of the Derby. And I'll tell you a filly that's into the Derby, so to speak. Kentucky's own Carly Pierce will sing the national anthem before Derby 149. Really great artist, and she kind of did a surprise announcement on her socials. She did her unboxing of her fascinator. So she's there on camera, and she opens up her box, and there's her fascinator. And she said, what was the caption? She said, what could this mean? And it says, place your bets below. And then she waited for a while for people to place their bets, and then she announced she was singing the anthem at Derby 149. So good for her.
Northern Kentucky's own.
Yep. I've seen her a couple times. I don't watch the Grand Ole Opry very often, but sometimes when I know, because they do that Saturday night show after Saturday Night Live, sometimes when I know someone that I like was going to be on, I'll go scope. And so I kind of ran onto her. She was performing with someone that I was looking at. I thought, well, she's, pretty nice artist. And I always try to be as fanish as I can of Kentucky artists, because I think they most of them represent the state well. Sam, you are not caught up on Ted Lasso?
No, I have not even started the new season
So
yet.
there will be no spoilers. But
yes, because when I saw this picture, I was like, I don't know who that is.
For the people that are caught up on Ted Lasso, just the idea of Aaron Rodgers rolling into the Jets compound and facility like Zava rolling into Richmond was super hilarious, because they're both bearded, they both got big giant foreheads, etc. So, and if if you're caught up and the Zava character on Lasso, and then the quirkiness of Aaron Rodgers, it just makes for some pretty good humor. So that's been circulating the net the last few days. Netflix lost 1 million Spanish users over their password policing. We shared with you last week that they had studied what was going to happen when they cracked down, that you get people who immediately say, and then they eventually come back. But looks like that's probably something similar will happen here domestically when it occurs. Freddie Mercury's private collection to be unveiled and auctioned this summer. If you ever wanted to have a piece of Freddie Mercury's clothing, guitars, etc., Sotheby's is going to, before the showing in London, pieces will show in New York, London, Los Angeles, and Hong Kong this June.
I'd just like to switch vocal cords.
He could definitely. That boy could sing.
Maybe, he's arguably one of the best ever.
Jack Harlow sets a release date for his third album called Jackman, and he got, I think they were trying to figure out, there was some mystery on where this photo was taken. Like they did figure out it was taken in Louisville, and Jackman, as in Jack Harlow, etc. So I don't know where that was, but that looks like it could be somewhere, in some place that could be in Louisville. I don't know.
Probably was someplace. It's probably a pretty good guess.
In Louisville. That's what I think they were trying to figure out if it was.
I did see. I think one of the TV stations or something found.
I think it was Shay McAllister.
It might have been.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw that tweet yesterday. And then I had a piece of information that I thought would be very important that maybe the two of you, but most specifically Sam, would be able to weigh in on. Daniel Radcliffe and his main squeeze.
Let me guess. They just had their first baby.
It's not his wife. So you did this yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
But let me ask you.
We didn't do much on it though, because we're running short on
But what
time.
I wanted to know, did you have the debate? Muggle or wizard?
Was it?
It was Whitney.
It was Whitney.
Okay,
Whitney was the one that brought that up.
All right, so I'm curious, what did you all land on? Because she's not a wizard.
We didn't dive too deep into it because we were running a little short on time.
But Whitney did come out and say, she's like, they had a Muggle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess Whitney then said it's a Muggle.
So Whitney says Muggle. Are you all okay
I say
with
Muggle.
that?
If Whitney says Muggle, then I'm going to say Muggle.
It's settled. Unanimous. Muggle. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know. Do you
have a picky eater who turns every meal into a fight? Well, you could probably use some practical ideas for easing the conflict. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. The most important thing to keep in mind is this: don't panic. Yes, you may have a finicky eater who wants the same food for every meal. I can relate. When my boys were younger, no matter what we served, they always asked for corn dogs and pizza. Now, we didn't give in to that request all the time, but occasionally. We also didn't leave them at the table for hours until they finished their spinach. Try letting them eat something they want after they have one bite of everything you've prepared. We have some friends who did it a little differently. Their children had to eat one bite for every year of their age, so their 5-year-old had to eat at least 5 bites of everything on their plate. It's an age-appropriate idea that typically works well for compliant sons and daughters. Of course, some picky eaters are strong-willed and need solid boundaries. One mom served up a reasonable amount for dinner, but didn't force her son to eat it. And if he didn't clean his plate, he didn't get dessert. It was his choice to enjoy the reward or suffer the consequences. So be creative and don't panic. Over a week's worth of meals, most children will get plenty of food and be just fine. To help your family thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
People ask me sometimes, Lance, I'm worried about my finances and I feel bad because I should be worried, right? I realize that inflation is going to be eating up money. I've got to do something to get around this crazy stock market and Biden's spending spree. Gold has, since the beginning of time, been the resource that God's people have relied on. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, is what the prophet Haggai said during a time of great shaking. To protect your retirement, I recommend that you diversify your 401k or IRA right out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with Gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, text the word DIVINE to 989898 to get a free info kit on Gold IRAs. Remember, there are no strings attached. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected. Just text that word DIVINE, DIVINE, to 989898. Take action right now, and I pray that your family is blessed with continued prosperity.
Under the disaster of NAFTA, politicians put other countries ahead of Kentucky. They did nothing as jobs left our state. I'm Kelly Craft. As United States ambassador to our largest trading partner, I worked with President Trump to rip up NAFTA and implemented USMCA, which created thousands of Kentucky jobs. I'm running for governor to stand up for our economy and to fight for Kentucky jobs.
Paid for by Kelly Craft for governor.
MB's point to ponder for today. Why do fat chance and slim chance mean the same thing? Fat chance. There's a slim chance of that happening. Well, you just said the same thing, but fat, slim.
Well, see, slim chance makes sense.
Yeah, it's very slim. Yeah, it's a very slim chance that happening. But you, fat chance. But that, when you say fat chance, that doesn't mean it is going to happen. It still means it's unlikely to happen. So
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
English. Here we go with English. A couple of footnotes. Jerry Springer has gone on in at age 79. So
former mayor of Cincinnati.
And
he had to resign for some interesting reasons.
Yeah.
Give it a Google if you don't know.
Yeah. Well, there he is right there on television. He took daytime television and that format and genre to a way different level than it had been before.
And
like Phil Donahue went, what?
And up until, and it might have been up until he just passed. He hosted.
Jerry, say what?
He hosted a podcast live in Ludlow, Kentucky. He would do that like every week.
Ludlow?
Yes, Ludlow is in northern Kentucky on the river.
Is that like a fancy suburb of Cincinnati?
I wouldn't call Ludlow fancy.
By the way, I drove by Fountain Square Park yesterday morning.
Just Fountain Square.
Oh, sorry, Fountain Square. And I drove by there. Guess what I started singing when I drove by?
WKRP.
Baby, if you've ever wondered.
It's pretty good. I guess the ice rink isn't there. I guess they've taken that down for the summer.
Probably. There's some food trucks there in case you want to stop by.
I've got a friend who works right down there. He probably partakes.
The late the last late show tonight. James Corden calls it a career on late night TV in the States.
Have you watched his with Adele yet?
I got to tell you, I was in tears. I was so moved by, she picked him up. They flipped the script, and it was wonderful. Of course.
Because you want to know how wonderful it was? It changed one Yukon Cornelius's opinion of James Corden.
By the way, he brought it to me. He's the one that sent it to me, and I didn't have time that instant. And I didn't think it was out yet. And I first said, "Is this for real?" He said, "Yes." He said, "And now
he's got the connections."
He said, "Now I'm a fan." But he said, "But Adele needs to go easy on the eye makeup." And I shoved back and I said, "No, the only thing that would make this better is if James Corden had eye makeup like Adele." So tonight. Adele is on the show tonight. And I think last night did the last Crosswalk Theater. So, they did carpool karaoke, but the other thing they would do is outside of their studios in Burbank, they would stage it where they would do Broadway musicals during red lights. So, like, the light would turn red, traffic would stop, and they'd all run out in the crosswalk and perform these Broadway numbers.
Interesting.
And
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Yeah, so
I know I've seen his one with where they have the horrible foods.
Yes, yeah. Spill your guts,
or fill
your guts, or fill your guts. Yeah,
where you have to answer the question or eat something awful.
But the brilliant thing about it is, red lights are 90 seconds, whatever. They vary in length depending upon the intersection. But they would be performing. But then when they would see the light turn yellow the other way, then they would all immediately grab their props and go running back to the curb to let traffic go through. So I don't want to spoil it, but I did see this. Someone spoil it for me. Thank you, CBS. He refused to leave the crosswalk, and a car comes through and hits him, and he pretends to die in the middle of the crosswalk. So that's like how it ends.
See how you just spoiled it for all of us.
Yeah, well, I'm just paying it forward because they did it for me. Law and Order is on tonight as well.
I'm now heartbroken. Well, the NFL draft.
And the draft.
Yeah.
Is the draft on ABC and ESPN?
And NFL Network.
And NFL Network.
And ESPN2 probably, and ESPN Classic, and like all of the...
What about Deportes?
The Ocho, probably.
Right. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1994, former President Richard M. Nixon was remembered at an outdoor funeral service attended by all 5 of his successors at the Nixon Presidential Library in Yorba Linda, California, 1994.
Okay, I honestly had no idea what year he died.
I'm kind of curious. I've not heard anything about President Carter in a while. A few weeks ago, it was like, okay, this is, but the fact that we haven't heard anything since then is
no news is good news, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But, yeah. 1521, Ferdinand Magellan, who was gelling like a felon, was killed by natives in the Philippines. Birthdays today. Kate Pearson from the B-52s is 75. Tin Roof Rusted to you. God bless you, Sam.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Ace Frehley is 72. Sheena Easton is 64. Lizzo is 35.
He was in Lexington Saturday.
So
Lizzo.
Our
Lizzo
favorite little redheaded boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Caden,
he
11
is
today?
11 today. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard. If I forget what age Caden is, I'm in big trouble at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder why nobody don't like
Chart toppers.
Or is it the fact that
Oh, by the way, Samuel Morse, born in 1791. Ulysses S. Grant in 1822. Jack Klugman in 1922. Coretta Scott King in 1927. And this was Babe Ruth's birthday. I've lost track of the year he was born. Herman Ruth. Harry Belafonte. Mama Look at Boo Boo. 1957.
He just, like Monday, I think, went on, died.
Who
or
did?
Tuesday.
Harry Belafonte?
Yeah, he died on Tuesday.
I didn't know that. That missed me.
Sorry to break it to you.
That's all right.
I think he was 96.
Deo. The Righteous Brothers, Soul and Inspiration, part of that Wall of Sound in 1966. I think Phil Spector was the engineer. Let's go to 1975. B.J. Thomas.
And the feeling just got right for a brand new love
Another
song.
Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song.
Somebody done somebody wrong song.
Let's go to 1984. Phil Collins, Against All Odds. 93, Love Is, Vanessa Williams and Brian McKnight. Blurry, Puddle of Mud in 02. Katy Perry with E.T. in 11. The Weeknd, Blinding Lights in 2020.
Good song.
The Weeknd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do like that one.
Do you like Phil Collins from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't my favorite Phil Collins.
Yeah. Dave didn't raise you on Genesis? I mean, I know this is Phil Collins. This is not Genesis, but...
More of he'd be a little, I mean, more like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Queen, Beatles would be more of my dad's realm.
Dave wouldn't turn his nose up at In the Air Tonight, though, would he?
No.
Okay.
That was going to be the Phil Collins song. I mean, Stadium Anthem.
What about
3 minutes and 40 seconds in is when you get your.
What about Sussudio? No.
I don't know about that. I don't really know what his opinion is on Genesis.
Don't Lose My Number. No.
I'll report back.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Never let the fear. Babe Ruth said this. Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on.